I'm always the first one to wake in the mornings, and I love to start my day with a quiet little fire. In the high altitudes of the Sawtooth Mountains, the wood was pretty dry, so it was easy to rekindle the fire from the night before. The snaps and crackles and pops of the fire, they slowly rouse the crew, from their hammocks, and some do wake easier than others. It's hard, I can say, some days to get out of that comfy little hammock and sleeping bag, but I do love the smell of a fire in the morning. Shortly after starting the fire, that's when I'll crank up the jet boil. I need some water for the coffee. The subtle hiss of that stove over the campfire, those are the triggers that start to awaken the senses. I start hearing the wind in the trees and start looking around and seeing the light of the rising sun. It's really nice, calm and quiet. I start every day off with a cup of coffee, but as with most foods and drinks, there's just something about the wilderness that really brings out the flavor and appreciation. As the sun rises and warms up the landscape, the crew is now fully awake and slowly gathering their gear to prepare for the day's hike. Today, we'll be hiking a little over 5 miles and climbing roughly 1,400 feet through the pass between Imogene and Payette lakes. On the way up, we'll pass a few mountain streams and see some beautiful flowers. They were in full bloom this year, so we got quite the view. The sun was up and warm, and it made for some great hiking weather. We came across this nice little water cascade around lunchtime and thought this would be a perfect opportunity to take a small break and have a few snacks to keep the energy up. It was also an opportune moment to break out the Mavic Mini and take in the landscape for some angles that most people never get to see. Edith Lake was not far from the waterfall rest stop, and because we were making good time, we decided to stop and take it in for a few minutes. The guys broke out their fishing poles and tried their luck, but they would have to wait until later in the trip to see some good hooking action. Edith Lake behind me. Whew, that's a good little climb just through this last pass to get to Imogene from Edith. But it's a beautiful little view. The water is crystal clear. You can see the fish swimming. What we saw were some probably small trout there by the shoreline. G and Ben stopped to see if they could catch a couple. Me and Billy and John decided we wanted to go ahead and get this last little climb over with before it gets too hot. But oh yeah, it's a climb.
Climb up these switchbacks, this last little haul to get to Imogene. Well, we stopped at this little watering hole down below us. Several groups passed us, young people, full of energy. One young female passed us wearing only like a water pack, and she was running up this joker, obviously training for a marathon or something, or just woo, loves the job. I don't know. It is beautiful, but she ran up this joker. Impressive.
Just past Edith Lake was where we really entered the climbing for the day. At Edith Lake, we were about 8,700 feet and then quickly climbed another 200 feet to reach a trail intersection that would take us to Imogene Lake. Between the intersection and the pass, we still had another 400 feet of gain ahead of us. The switchbacks were all traveled and stabled, but there was little shade to protect us from the sun. Even though the air temperature was moderately cool, the exertion of the climb and the sun had us walking fairly slowly and feeling that heat. We all made the pass in a reasonable amount of time and stopped to take in the incredible view. The wind was brisk and fast, and it did not take long to cool us off from that tough little climb. So we thought it a great time for some selfies to remind us years from now of that incredible moment.
That's real chilly. I'm rolling. Woo! It does feel good once you. All right, that was good. That felt good now.
It's fun to dive off that.
I believe you.
I recommend that.
That was pretty cool.
Not long after reaching the lake, as you just saw, we found a decent little spot to set up camp and take a dip to rinse off the dust and refresh our spirits. Billy tried his luck with the fishing pole, and I began exploring our surroundings with the Mavic Mini. While reviewing the aerial footage, I noticed a beautiful spot not far along the shoreline, and never one to be completely satisfied, I had to go check it out. So I left the crew to go see this locale up close and personal, and I am glad that I did. I knew it wouldn't be an easy sell to get the team to repack and hike another half mile, but I had to try. I mean, look at this place. I returned to the team and shared just how nice the other spot would be, and being the awesome team that they are, everyone was on board with the move. Though it was about this time that another couple passed by our site headed in the direction of the open campsite. Fearful that they would claim the spot, I quickly gathered just my hammock and made a dash for the site, hoping to pass them on the way. Interestingly enough, I never saw them again, and I made it to our site for the night, rapidly hanging my hammock, and with a Tarzan yell, I let the world know that this site was ours. So I waited for the crew to get there, and after they reached the site, I could then return to gather the rest of my gear and make the short hike back to this incredible peninsula. That evening, we would have a nice warm fire and a hot meal overlooking a beautiful lake and islands. Shortly thereof, we'd break out the Sony to capture Neowise as it skirted along the horizon. All in all, a tough and rewarding day.